In a quiet village where every drop of water mattered, one guest stumble would awaken a story of pain, love, and healing. This is Ada, and her fall was only the beginning, because sometimes it takes a break to make us whole again. Welcome to Love is All. In a small village called Umudike, there lived a man named Papa Eze. He was known as a strong man who hardly smiled. He had one child, a beautiful little girl named Ada. Ada was kind, polite, and loved to sing, while helping her father with chores. Ada's mother died when she was a baby. Since then, Papa Eze had raised her alone. But Papa Eze was not kind. He never hugged Ada. He never told her, "I love you." Every day, Ada worked very hard in the house. She swept the compound, fetched water from the stream, washed Papa Eze's clothes, and cooked his food. Even though she was young and tender, she did everything without complaining. She just wanted her father to love her. But Papa Eze was always angry. If Ada made a small mistake, like forgetting to wash a cup or leaving a broom outside, he would shout at her. Sometimes he would beat her with a stick, even when she cried. One evening, Ada was coming back from the stream. She carried a heavy pot of water on her head. She was tired, and her little legs were shaking. As she got close to her compound, she tripped on her stone. The pot fell and broke. Water flashed everywhere. Ada looked at the broken pot and began to cry. She knew Papa Eze would be very angry. She picked up the broken pieces and walked home with a trembling heart. When Papa Eze saw her empty-handed, his eyes turned red. "Where is the water?" he shouted. Ada knelt down and explained what happened. She begged him, "Please, forgive me, Papa. It was a mistake." But Papa Eze did not listen. He picked up his long cane and beat her many times. Ada cried and cried, but he did not stop. "You are useless," he shouted. "You are a disgrace." His voice was full of anger. The neighbors heard Ada's cries. Mama Nkechi, an old woman who lived next door, rushed into the compound. She held Papa Eze's arm and shouted, "Stop it! She is your only child. Do you want to kill her?" Papa Eze pushed Mama Nkechi away and stormed into the house. Ada lay on the ground, her back full of red marks. Mama Nkechi gently carried her and took her into her hut. "Don't worry, my child," she whispered. "You are safe." That night, Ada slept in Mama Nkechi's hut. She had nightmares and kept waking up in fear. But Mama Nkechi stayed by her side and gave her warm water to drink. Ada felt a little peace in her heart. The next morning, Mama Nkechi went to the village chief, Chief Umadozie. She said, "Papa Eze is hurting this daughter. Something must be done." The chief listened and called a village meeting. At the meeting, many people stood up to speak. Some said They had seen Papa Eze beat Ada many times. Others said Ada was always working like a servant. The chief shook his head. "This is not how a father should treat his child," he said. They called Papa Eze to the meeting. At first, he was proud and said, "She is my daughter. I can do whatever I like." But the people shouted, "No, she is not an animal. She deserves love and care." The chief stood up and spoke firmly. "From today, Ada will stay with Mama Nkechi, and if you ever try to beat her again, we will send you out of this village." Everyone clapped and agreed. Papa Eze was shocked. He looked around and saw how serious the people were. He walked away in silence, feeling ashamed. For the first time in his life, he realized people were watching him. Ada stayed with Mama Nkechi. She was happy. She went to school, learned to read, and even joined the church choir. Every Sunday she wore a pretty dress and sang with a big smile. But deep in her heart, she still missed her father. She wished he could come and say, "I'm sorry." But Papa Eze never came. He stayed in his house alone, thinking and feeling sad. One day, Papa Eze fell sick. He was too weak to cook or even walk. Nobody came to help him. He lay on his mat and cried. "I miss my daughter," he said. "I was so cruel. What kind of father was I?" When Ada heard Papa Eze was sick, her heart broke. She told Mama Nkechi, "I want to see him." Mama Nkechi took her by the hand, and together they went to Papa Eze's house. When Papa Eze saw Ada, he cried, "My daughter," he whispered. "Please, forgive me. I have been wicked to you." Ada held his hand and said, "I forgive you, Papa. I still love you." From that day, Ada started taking care of her father. She cooked for him, swept his room, and read stories to him. Slowly, Papa Eze got better. He began to smile again, and his heart became soft. That night, like many nights after, the glow of a lantern filled their hut. Ada read a story aloud, her voice calm, strong, full of life. Papa Eze, now quiet and still, listened like a student. He smiled faintly, not because of the story, but because his daughter still shared it with him. Papa Eze, once feared and harsh, now stood before a group of men and women under the shade of the village tree. He wasn't giving orders. He was sharing truth. Love your children while you still can, he said. Don't wait until regret is all you have left. The other father listened because his pain had become his wisdom. Years passed. She became a teacher and helped many children in the village. People loved her. They always said she is strong like her mother and kind like Mama Nkechi. Papa Eze also changed. He became gentle and helped other fathers learn how to treat their children with love. He would tell them, don't wait until it's too late to show love. Ada walked along the red path with a row of smiling children behind her. They held books in their hands and joy in their hearts. She was more than a teacher. She was hope in human form. One morning, Papa Eze carved a small wooden necklace. It wasn't perfect, but it was from his heart. He handed it to Ada. "I don't know how to undo the past," he said, "but I hope this helps us build the future." They sat side by side on a log, each holding roasted corn. They chewed quietly, watching the sky shift to orange. No loud apologies, no long speeches, just healing. Together, they dug a hole and placed a young tree into the soil. Hands dirty, hearts clean, a symbol of everything that had grown between them. At the village festival, the drums beat. Ada stepped into the festival cycle, adorned in beautiful beads and cloths. Her feet moved with freedom, her eyes bright with pride. This time, the village clapped for her, not out of duty, but out of deep respect. Ada danced proudly. Papa Eze clapped and smiled from the front row. At the front of the crowd, Papa Eze clapped loudly, smiling widely. It was no longer a shadow in her story. It was now part of her light. The chief stood and said, "Today, we celebrate a girl who forgave, a father who changed, and a village that stood for what is right." And that story will be told for generations, he said. Let her courage be our guide. And the crowd erupted in cheers. Even the toughest among them had misty eyes. They nodded, some whispering prayers. Ada has changed this village, one said. Her pain was not wasted. Tears filled many eyes. Children formed a circle and danced around Ada. Years later, Papa Eze held a baby girl in his arms, Ada's daughter. His eyes were gentle, hands steady. He had learned to hold, not to hurt, to protect, not to punish. In the classroom, children sang softly. Love is stronger than anger. Kindness heals the pain. Forgiveness shines like sunlight after the heavy rain. And from that day, the people of Umudike promised to always protect their children, speak up for the weak, and show love every day. Ada stood beneath the tree where her childhood ended. Now, as a woman, she smiled into the sky. Behind her memories, beside her love, before her legacy, and written in the sky above her were the words, "Love heals all." And that story became a song the children sang at school. Love is stronger than anger. Kindness can heal the pain. Forgiveness is a bright new light, like sunshine after rain. Thank you so much, viewers and subscribers, for watching. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.